All right, everybody, welcome. Uh, anyone who, Big Ed, Sydney, if you can kill your cameras, that'd be great. Um, Welcome to another sneak peek. Um, well, okay, we maybe didn't ban Andy, but you will notice that he's not with us. He's actually taking care of some business, and we hope to see him back. But we are going to go ahead and we're calling this weekend. We're going to call this the quality of life weekend. What we're going to be showing is we're going to be showing some advancements that we've done in some of the aspects of Lightwave that really just fall under the heading of quality of life. So I think I'll go ahead and let's kind of jump right in there. I'll go ahead and start sharing my screen, and we'll bring this up. I'm in layout. Hopefully everyone can see this well enough.
Yeah, I can see that.
Pull things out of the way. Okay, so one thing that we have done in the past that we had shown is that we have been working on the preferences panel. The preferences panel we have done an awful lot of work on since the last time we showed this to you guys. It has gone through a number of back and forth with testers and users, and we've been really hammering on this. And I think we're just about to the point where we can call it. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But as you can see, if I hit display or P, or rather O, I get pulled into the same panel. But this is where we're collecting everything. And as you can see, we've kind of collected everything together. And if you click on any individuals or see the big picture, the big overview, we can be moving around in this a lot faster and a lot easier. Yes, also it's in Modeler as well. I'm just going to show you from here. Also, being able to import and export the preferences that you save, so that you can share them, so that you can have them on a per use basis. This is all gathered together, including now there's a number of things in here, but one of the big ones with the interface, the UI scale multiplier is in here as well. Now this does require a restart, so this is not
Juice,
a yes.
It might be nice for people later when they're watching the video. Do you want to, if you go to your team's channel where you can see the chats, you can mute the notification so you don't see them popping up on your screen?
Okay, yes. So let me.
So the three little dots.
Do that.
The three little dots next to where it says Sneak Peek Saturday in the chat box on.
Yeah,
on
I can't
Teams
even
itself.
see the chat box. You're a little bitty thing. Okay, here we go. I got it.
Yeah,
so
there you go. And then that'll stop the
pop-ups. I'm looking for it.
And Sydney, thanks so much for showing yourself on camera, but please feel free to turn off your camera.
So I guess that's under settings?
No. In chat, where you see my name, Elmar's name, etc., where you've been chatting to us, and you'll see Sneak Peek Saturdays. It should be at the top. If you hover over it on the little right-hand side, there'll be three little dots.
I'm blind.
Don't worry about it. Keep going on. It's not an issue. More if you want to turn off.
Okay. So anyway, the organization, like I say, the organization has been done as a back and forth between developers and end users. So I really feel like that this is getting all in there. So let me show something else. I'm excited about this one. This is quality of life, or is it really just fixing something that needed fixing? Let me load in a quick scene here real quick. We all might be familiar with the issue of rendering with a clip map and motion blur. We fixed it. We have got a fix in which I can now render instances. I can render materials. I can remember with and use motion blur and show the, well, it'll actually render now. So let me get this loaded up. Here we go. I'll hit F9. And as you can see here, we're rendering motion blur with instances. But the main thing is that if you did a clip map with a clip map especially, it just wouldn't complete rendering. It just
it's actually funny. It was not actually getting completely stalled. It was just slow that it would render forever.
It was in a loop, wasn't it?
In there, there's a loop in there. Just for explanation, guys. So there's a loop in there in the render that goes through the clip maps, and it was for some reason set to a really, really high precision, and that is essentially exponential. So, and yeah.
All right, let's do another quality of life. I'm going to go ahead and clear this. We showed this feature as an early look a week, maybe 2 weeks ago. Time is blurring for me. I have no idea. What day is today even? I know it's a Saturday.
I thought it was Monday.
Oh, crap. Is it? So what I'm just going to do here is I'm just going to pop open and hey, I can actually show this maybe. On the interface now here, I've got a ProGeo drop down where I can just go ahead and add a box with ProGeo. So we've got, some things happening here, which is nice. But anyway, going into the procedurals, this is what I wanted to show. With our upcoming content and demo scenes and presets and things, one of the things that we wanted to do is we wanted to be able to more clearly illustrate and to show what is happening in a given flow. And that's where frames came into about. So if I select a node and hit Control F, I add a frame around that. I believe I showed this maybe a week or two ago, to where I have now the ability to have even multiple nodes inside of a frame that move around with the frame and such. I can pull it in, pull it out. But we're talking about quality of life. So what I can do here is I can select them all. I can hit Control Shift F, and this pops open. As it's creating it, it's now giving me the edit for it. So I can change my color of the frame itself. I can say this is a new frame, and I can add notes inside for me to refer back to later. So now I have what ostensibly is like a sticky note. Here's a benefit though. As I create a frame, I have this option down here at the bottom, export when empty. What this means is that if I save this as a preset, so where it drops into my nodes presets in the upper left-hand corner, if it doesn't have a node in it, I can tell it, go ahead and save this. So what I can use this for is like an overarching sticky note. But here's a benefit. I can even put in a hyperlink into there, and that now is a clickable link to go to the web. So I see this as being used for maybe like a user card or something in the lower end. So for example, just as I can pull this in, So you see here I've pulled in, here's a frame, and so I can like have a link to my documentation to where, oh, shoot. Sorry about that. But anyway, you get the idea. So what we can have is we can have explanations around different pieces, different parts of the flow. You know, I think too of where you can have, you know, a note in the lower corner that has your name, a link to maybe your website, or a link to something else, so that as you share things around, it's like, you know, attaching your business card to the node so that you remember who gave it to you or whatnot. But anyway, this is a nice little quality thing going here. Before I go anywhere else, Elmar, do you want to show any of your bits?
Yep, I can. So some small quality of life things.
I will stop and I'll get set up for my next bit.
All right, do that. We got some small quality of life stuff.
While you're doing that, Elmar, Sydney, we're loving seeing your face on there, but feel free to turn your camera off. Hey, you did it. Well done. Thank you.
Layout. Can you see?
Yeah, I can see.
You can see my screen? Okay.
I can.
So, small thing, I know. But we have the weight brush GUI finally updated, you know, to not be so utilitarian as we called it in the past, to be a little more organized, and you know, so that's something I did last week. And then, you know, you asked for it, and I don't know, can you actually see that or not? That's the question. Can you see my image viewer window?
No, can't see your image viewer window.
Okay, I guess I have to show my entire screen. You're going to be seeing all the mess.
Oh, instead of just share the whole screen instead of the application?
Yeah, entire screen. Yeah, this is a separate window. And
it's to your Lightwave window.
Is it showing?
You're not sharing a screen at this point.
Okay, now, can you see
There
it?
we go. Yes.
All right. Okie dokie. So here is, can you see the image viewer now?
Yes, yes.
Yep. All right. You asked for it. I got it for you. So little small quality of life improvement. You know, you can now scroll and zoom in with your mouse wheel, and you can scroll in it with your mouse wheel. It's a small thing, but I thought that was a really worthy addition, and
it was very highly requested.
Yeah,
a lot of
and just a you know, little quality of life improvement. And one thing I also wanted to mention while I was showing the weight brush thing. There is going to be a new SDK macro for placing and scaling controls without the label taking an account. Because, I mean, that is something that should have been there. It's a super simple addition, but somehow it never happened. And that's, you know, when you have like, when you use the default method to place your controls, it takes the label, and then, you know, like say like for the mini slider here, and it takes the label, and then say somebody is using a different system font or on the Mac or, you know, whatever, and then all of a sudden all your controls are misaligned, and like it looks like a terrible mess. And now you have the option as a developer to, so you're not messing up existing panels that people put a lot of work in making look nice. Yeah, you now have the option to align and place controls using that little new SDK macro. So, and scale them too. All except the mini sliders. That is something I'm still looking into. Like, they don't quite want to scale correctly, but everything else, yeah, is you can place and scale with that new macro. So, and that's it from me from the Mage Tower. Back to you guys.
Okay. Ben,
Oh,
you want to
okay.
do what we were just talking?
Oh, oh, yeah.
Put you on the spot there.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I was just concentrating on something else.
We are talking
right,
quality of life.
sure. Well, sure. Okay.
All right.
So, hang on a second. Let me find the right thing then. Okay. All right. Let me share my screen.
Share your screen.
Do. Can everybody see that?
Sure can.
Okay.
Okay, so this is like the start of the new version of the docs for everybody that's been paying attention. It's fully responsive. It has a, a heading list on the right hand side, so you can actually just jump to a section without needing to. I can also have, oh, this is a biggie for me because we couldn't have it with the Wagtail system that the rest of the website's based on. I don't have to find it in here somewhere. Where is it? Node editor updates. So you can now have animated GIFs of any size as long as they fit in onto your page. Plugged in, and stuff that even the beta team hasn't seen yet. So now I'm going to do it so that all my images are sized, because some of them are huge otherwise. Like, no, that's small. This one, but if you want to see it full size, click on it and it goes that big and gets smaller. The best thing of all for me is the fact that you can now search. So if I just search for polygon, for instance, it gives me individual words, but also page names that are actually referring to those things. There's no page called polygon, obviously, but we've got it there. And you can do advanced searches where you can get a bit more into exact matches or just all results, things, and stuff like that. And it's actually a nice tool to use to actually create the documentation. And I think it's going to be nice. As for including all the documentation into it, hence the 2020 docs, that's not going to be possible yet, mainly because there's about 4,000 pages of PDF that I have to put into this. But that will continue happening. And also, if I've got a Lightwave website page open, I haven't. So let's just...
How will this look on mobile devices?
It looks fine. I've checked it on my phone, and it's great. I can't check it from the beta from that version because that's purely local to this machine. However, if you go up here now, you can see 2020 documentation is there. This is the documentation that was available when we were at New Tech. It has a search field up here, but it does not work. And you need to be at least reasonably familiar with the documentation to know where anything is, because there's no side menu. But it's there, it's available. That's the complete documentation. So it will continue to be that way for the time being, certainly for this release of Lightwave. But hopefully it will be done soon.
What about an offline version? I mean, I know my personal feelings on that, but
The offline version is still there. That 2020.
well, for the new stuff, 2020 for the new docs.
It's actually probably going to be easier to make an offline version of this one, but the problem is obviously that no offline version that I know of can actually play back an anim GIF.
Right.
So if you want still images, we can do that, I'm sure. It won't be a priority though for me, and seeing as I am the documentation department, that's going to be the way for the time being. Anyway,
it's looking good.
Yeah, thank you.
And the nice thing is,
sorry, I didn't show the other thing as well, which was for anybody that doesn't like all the dark stuff, up here you can just change it to.
So there is a light and dark mode.
Yeah. And see, YouTube videos work perfectly in it. YouTube Shorts do not. So that's something coming down the pipe. But it's nice. No, that's really cool.
It'll be nice too when we can, when everything does get lined up, where we can link it to the F1, in modeler and layout as well. So,
yeah. If you're in Lightwave, press F1 right now, and you will see the docs.
Very nice.
So
just to answer a question here in the chat, yes, the scroll wheel zoom in image viewer is actually zooming in on the mouse pointer. It is not just zooming in anywhere, but it's actually zooming in on the mouse pointer, because some people were asking that. So just wanted to interject real quick. Sorry, Ben.
That's it, Ben. I said that as well, so in the chat. So that's it for me.
Thanks, Ben.
Just you and Big Ed, Juice.
All right, let me go ahead, and what I think I'll do is, in deference to Andy, what I'm going to do here is, let's go ahead. I'm going to find the share button again. This was something that was a sneak peek that we blurred out, but I think it's time that we can show it off here. So I'm just going to pull up some geometry. Yes, this is Modeler. I know we've been showing an awful lot of stuff here, and in layout and everything, because there is more in there. But so yes, this is Modeler. So here we go. I want to just show this little tool off. I'm going to select an edge, use the right arrow key to select the entirety, and I'm going to pull up. I've put it in here. Now, I want you to first understand that the tool set that I'm about to show, the closest starting point that we had was edge bevel. That is probably not what it's going to wind up being called in finality. I want to also preface this by saying this has not gone to beta yet. So this is alpha. In deference to all of the people who's currently watching, who are on the beta team, you'll be getting this soon. So just wanted to say. So under my edge bevel, what I have obviously is I've got our regular edge bevel that we're used to. But what I also now have is I've got a few other options, such as sliding the edge. So I can slide this way, that way. And I want to show what this hold edges is all about. So what we've got is, this is the original edge that I selected. if I choose hold edges, what this is going to do is this is going to keep that edge that we had and then bevel away from it. In addition, this gave way to an option that a lot of people might recognize. I can actually choose to inset the original, hold down Control key, and now I can play with that original edge as its own bit, as a live action thing. Now, those of us might remember an old tool. So if I fire this up and do this again like this, does anyone? Let's see how many people name this from the tool that that sparked it. This might be might look like wrinkle. So if I hit tab, yep, there we go. FI wrinkle. Good job. So in addition, what I can do is I can select points and fire this off, and I can now grab the points and slide them along their edges. Now, this is where we run into, oh, this is an alpha. I've already discussed it, that if I try to move a second one, it resets and only does the last point. Again, this is alpha. I've already spoken to the developer. He knows about it and he's working on it. But this was the tool that we had alluded to in the past, to being able to slide things around. There's probably going to still be some options and some wishes and some dreams to come around, but anyway, there's one particular user in mind who has wanted something like this for a number of years, and we're finally making it happen for him. So I'm pleased to announce it and pleased to show it, and so we all love you, Lewis. So that's kind of where we are, guys. It's we're advancing, what we had talked about. We had talked about quality of life, and wanted to show some of the things that we had made mention of in past sneak peeks. We've advanced it. There's some new things that we've bringing. So with Andy being gone, God rest his soul, that
Juice is joking. He's on holiday.
Rise from the dead.
He's got to live on the farm. You know that.
Anyway,
and Andy's actually it's quite a good day for Andy. I'm glad that he's able to take the time and do what he's doing. So, but at least we're not going to have to bleep anything or blur anything, or he's not doing any of that kind of stuff. So, but anyway,
Juice, did you want to make mention on the competition?
About to do that very thing.
Nice.
We are still running the May the 4th competition, and we have extended its time frame until the time at which we ship 2024, which is in a few weeks. So if you are putting some polish on some things to get into that competition, you have a few weeks for the competition to be over.
But no date yet. Agents.
No date yet.
No slips.
But I'm just going to stop right there.
Forward-looking statements.
Yeah.
Disclaimer. These are forward-looking statements, and
So it's not long now, but yeah, if we can get your submissions in as quick as possible, because like I said, Drew said, it is not long now until 24 will be available. Someone said beta. No, that means out live, the finished thing. It's a few weeks away, not long.
Now, bear that in mind. We are not, above the thing. When we release, we're not folding up shop and going to go fishing. It's often hilarious to me when people ask, it's like, what, you're going to release Lightwave? It's like, we're not done. Even when we release Lightwave, we are not done. So Shabazi, good point. I will do that. I will make the announcement for the extension of the contest in the Discord channel. When we release a version, that's just that version. We then move forward to the next, to the next release, to the next feature, to the next whatever. And we do patches. We fix bugs. It's a thing. So there we go.
Features.
There might be more features. I mean, I'm still working on that whole neural net thing. I still have to stick it up my nose. I'm working on a different place to put it, but it's no, we've got a great team, we've got a great community, and I'm excited about what I'm excited about what I know is coming, and I know that you guys are too.
The only thing to add on to that as well, Juice, is that the discounted pricing for the upgrade obviously only lasts till the release does come out. So that means there's a few weeks left of this cheaper pricing before it goes back to the full price. So if you haven't bought yet and you want to, you've only got a few more weeks before that pricing goes higher.
Correct. I see a mention of a particular other bridge, Gozi. I will say this: there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of bridges that, in the time, we'll call it the dark time, in which, in between after the big boom, and now, that a lot of software has changed. A lot of software has modified. It's moved on. It's even other software applications have been bought by other companies. So it's any of the bridges that we had in the past. Know that this team still wants to bring those back, but it is one of those things that it's going to take us time. There's the bridges between Lightwave and After Effects. There's the bridges between Lightwave and ZBrush. There's the bridges to Unity. There's the bridges to Unreal. There's the bridges to any number of things. And Black Magic and Fusion. We still have friends that work there who still. So it's, and all of those conversations are being had. Trust me, but we really can't say anything about it now. But know that this team is a team of users. This team is a team of, the same people that are watching this stream. We want the same thing that you guys want. It's just that we have to take it in stride. We have to take it in the time. But know that everything that you guys are making mention of, we talk about behind closed doors already, and have been. So just take that to heart. And we're here and we're listening.
Yeah. Juice, did you have any update on the clip map?
I showed that at the very beginning of the stream.
Someone asked, are you fixing the clip maps? I thought maybe you want to tell them that with.
Yes, the clip map's actually fixed. So there. I can load up the scene one more time and do it, but the clip map with motion blur is addressed. It's fixed. Shabazi, we're going to call it Flow. We're calling it Lightwave Flow, LWFLOW.
Yeah.
And let's see, I can do a little vamp here while this loads. Dun, 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 dun. Almost there. But essentially, yes, what we were finding was that clip maps. It wasn't that, and here we go. So clip maps were going into almost an infinite loop. It's not that it hung; it's that it just kept rendering. It kept trying to do that same place over and over and over again. So here, clearly, instances, clip maps, F9, motion blur.
Are you sharing your
Good to go.
screen, Juice?
Oh, I am not.
Oh.
It would help if I shared my screen, because then my gesturing would make sense.
Mhm.
There you go.
Hey, now we can see it.
So there you go. F9, motion blur, clip maps. We're happy.
And that's camera and object motion blur?
Yeah. It's all of it.
Cool.
Yeah, again, like that was it was really one of those strange bugs where you had a magic number in the code, and coders will know what a magic number is.
Yep.
And that magic number was very, 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 very small. And
Yep.
so like what happened was like, and I'm literally talking about orders of magnitude. Like it was so small that it wasn't like that it was literally set as orders of magnitude. And the thing is, so like the intent was good. It's a precision thing, and but the outcome was that it was just gonna take forever. So the fix was make that number not quite as small. And
I was actually amazed. I was actually amazed when I looked at the code. I was like, "Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
Wow!"
right? It's one of those things. The intent was there, like it wasn't a bad intention, but yeah, I mean, like the outcome was just like, yeah, well, if it's 2 orders of magnitude too high, that's literally, and then it's actually taking exponentially longer with those 2 orders of magnitude. That ends up rendering forever. So that's essentially it.
Ernest, I'm going to say this about running the presentation on a Mac. I am not a Mac guy. I'm a PC guy. I've been using PCs forever. I can move around on a Mac, but it's very clumsy for me to work on the Mac. It I mean, if I could, I could try. Maybe one, maybe not a sneak peek, but maybe one other thing we can put together. I could set up a switch and show it on the Mac, because it is one of those things that we are testing on the Mac. We're doing everything else as well on the Mac. So it's just comfort zone for us, really, as far as why I'm showing it on a PC and not on a Mac.
It's probably something for the future. We get a Mac person.
Get a Mac guy.
Yeah. Agreed.
So the updates on Elmar sharing, improving render speeds and such, it's there. It's being worked on. It's just one of those things of, at what timing will it drop into Lightwave? It's, again, it's one of those things. A cook doesn't want to serve raw chicken. Elmar doesn't want to serve raw render speeds, because it'll just make you sick.
There's still some. I mean, you have to understand that the rendering code actually separates between VPR and the F9 renderer. And you make some changes, and they work wonderfully in the F9 renderer, but all of a sudden VPR, the example, doesn't quite update as nicely anymore as it used to. So there's like little things that we're still working on fixing and addressing so that, you know, everything plays together nicely. But yeah, they're coming. They're coming. Hopefully very, very soon. And definitely in this cycle, but you know, maybe not the initial release. We'll see though. It's still like it's a careful balancing act. So
right. And again, we don't want to give any news that we would then have to walk backwards later. So it's always best to just do that. So I really think that's kind of where we are.
Can I just go back on the docs thing? A couple of questions that people have been
No, I mean, I know it's your
Nobody cares.
baby and everything, but you know, someone just needs to tell your baby's ugly. No,
Yeah.
go for it, Ben. What you got?
Okay. Share again. Okay, so share this screen. Okay, so you should be able to see that. This is obviously a procedural geometry window, and included in there, here's a frame like Juice was showing, including a link. And if I click on the link, there we go. That's the node for add geometry. That was all. But also, if I didn't do that, if I just go back and just hit in here F1, that brings up the docs as they stand. It's not context sensitive. That's the major problem. It's never been context sensitive. I always wanted it to be context sensitive. Perhaps in the future we can have it context sensitive. It isn't now. So there you go.
If it was me, in the future we would actually have the docs come up in an integrated browser in Lightwave and like as an overlay, maybe even semi-transparent with stuff pointing at different parts of the user interface and stuff like that. But that is not an announcement. It's not a feature that's currently being worked on. That's just what I would really love.
You just locked yourself in. That'll be in the next release.
We're gonna edit that bit out of the video. I think that's everything, isn't it, Juice and Elmar?
I'm sorry?
I think that's everything, isn't it? That we wanted to cover?
I think that's everything, yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. Just little quality, little features today because the big man Andy is not here. So
Exactly.
it's only Juice and me, so just little things.
But just remember the competition is extended until we release 2024, which is in a few weeks. So get your submissions in because we've had some fantastic videos and pictures that have been sent through. So please, if you're still working on it, send that through. That'd be really good to see what you guys have done. Good. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Juice. Thank you, Elmar. And thank you, Ben, for jumping in last second to show what you've done with the docs. It's great.
Yes, looks great. Really does.
Cool. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.